Hello and welcome to week 10 of CNET56. I'm going to share my screen real quick. All right, so here we are on the Canvas. Let me go to week 10, the modules. And this week, of course, we have the discussion, which is your initial response is due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. And then 2 peer responses are due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. as well. And then here's a PowerPoint that covers, I forget the exact details. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, network architecture. So it's going to talk about the physical design, also introduce some virtualization technologies and some of the cloud. All right, so you can work your way through that. And then there's also this week quiz number 7, which is again due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night. And then we have this week's lab. So let me just walk you through the lab real quick. It's kind of a review lab in a lot of ways, particularly with the number systems. So it just does a little more detail with the numbering. So here's an introduction where I really go through all the principles, just like we did in a previous lecture, with the number conversions, the class addressing, the class subnet mask, and then the number conversion process. So going from binary to decimal and decimal to binary. And then it also talks about hexadecimal to binary, hexadecimal to decimal. And then there's some examples here. So this part here with the reviewing or the IP addressing, this is going to define how we calculate or determine the network ID. So if we take the IP address and we AND it with the subnet mask in binary, and we use this truth table, so 0 and 0 is 0, 0 and 1 is 0, 1 and 0 is 0, 1 and 1 is 1. So what that means is we just have to look wherever we have a 1 and a 1, that number will come straight down. So here we have 1, 1, 1. All these other zeros will just become 0. So if you look at this table, anything that contains a 0 will always have a 0 in the output. Okay. So once we do that, this determines the network ID. All right. So then I have some questions here where I want you to convert these. Now, I want you to know how to do these by hand. Okay. So try to do those just by hand. Don't just go to a website that says, convert this number to this number. You can do that to double check your answer, but you've got to know how to do this by hand, because if you ever go to get certified, like in the CompTIA Network Plus or Cisco CCNA, or even some of the Microsoft certifications, you can't use a calculator. You have to do it by hand. So I want you to do that. And then there's a couple of questions about the network ID. And getting the right subnet mask, right? And then the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to build a really simple packet tracer topology. So let me show you that. So if you just open packet tracer, and then the first thing we just put a switch on here. So go to switches, put a 2960 here, and then click on the generic PC. The only thing I want you to change on this is change the name from PC0 to PC1. I think that'll make it a little bit easier. And then do another. If you do that, change out name first, the rest of them will get everything in the right numbering. And then just connect these, right? So again, these are PC to switch, so that's going to be a straight through cable. and you can put them on any port, right? So just get these connected. All right, so once you have those up and running, and all you have to do is connect them real quick. If you come back into the lab, you'll see the next thing. So then click on the switches and then assign these addresses. So on PC1, you're going to put 192.168.1.1 with a 255.255.255.0. So you know how to do this. You've done this before. So you just go to the desktop. So here we're going to do and 255.255.255.0. And then PC2 will be 1.2 and so forth. And you'll just work your way through this lab. And then, but you will have to, on each one of these, calculate the network ID. So you'll have to go back up into this section to figure out how to calculate the network ID. All right, so you'll write that in here. And then I ask you, can you ping from PC1 to PC2? So if we come into our topology here, and again, we've done this plenty of times. So ping 192.168.1.2, and the first one will probably time out. All right, let me check that. Oh, see, I had a typo there. So you want to make sure everything's the right way. All right, so let's go back into PC1, and now we'll ping that, and you should get a response. All right. Now, the rest of the lab, oh, sorry about that. The rest of the lab will just have you change the IP addresses and the subnet masks. And you'll have to recalculate the network ID for each one of these. All right. And then can you ping? Yes or no? And if you cannot ping, tell me why. So in your lab, right in here, PC1 can ping PC2 because, or PC1 cannot ping PC3 because, or whatever the situation is. Right. And then you're going to change the IP addresses again. And then you're going to change the subnet mask. And then for the final section, I want you to tell me, using any public class B IP address, set it up with an subnet mask that will use the minimal network size. So you're going to right size it. Now, you could use a subnet mask that has 1,024 IP addresses, but we only have 4 PCs. So that means you're wasting 1,020 of them. If you have a class C subnet mask at 255.255.255.0, that has 256 IP addresses. So you'd be wasting 252 of them. So you want to pick one that fits the best way possible. And then once you're done with that, verify that they can actually ping each other, and then write that in there, and then save this file and re-upload it to Canvas. All right, so that's what we're going to do this week. Should be pretty straightforward. It will take you some time to work with those IP addresses and the number conversion. So if you haven't really looked at this since week 3 and week 4 when we talked about it, you know, you might have to double check some of that and get that taken care of. But other than that, I will see you on in lab this week. All right, take care. Bye.